Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. Hi, I'm Rob from robandphoto.com, and in today's video we're going to look at something really quite amazing, or I'd like almost to say unique, and something really cool and different to play around with on your camera. Now, Horaczko from Horaczko.com was very kind enough to send me a set of his custom bokeh filters. And if right away you're thinking, "Ooh, what's that? What's in it for me?" Well, remember when you're using your camera to take a nice portrait of somebody, and maybe using a very wide aperture. Maybe you've got something like using a 51.8 maybe, or a 51.4, or maybe using a longer lens and being closer to your subject. And so, their face is nice and in focus, but the background is kind of a nice soft blur. That's often referred to as bokeh or bokeh, or there's loads of different ways of the way that people call it. Basically, it's the out of focus bit in the background, or it could be in the foreground too. And if you've ever taken one of those pictures, maybe you've been out at night and you've noticed that lights in the background, round lights, pin lights, maybe from street lights and things, aren't always the same. When they're out of focus and they kind of go blurry, they kind of can be hexagonal shapes and all sorts of things. And what they're doing is they're mimicking the shape of the aperture blades on your lens. So imagine inside your lens, when you change the f-stop, the aperture blades kind of close up, tighten up, and open up. And so what that means is that you can take advantage of that, and you can make the shape of that out of focus, blurry light. You can change it to pretty much whatever shape you like. And if you use Horaczko's custom filter bokehs, or custom bokeh filters, you can change them into lots of different shapes, such as a bat. I don't know whether you can you see that? See that little bat? Such as a ship on the sea. Such as, what have we got here? A four-leaf clover. Actually, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what that one is. Looks very interesting there. Very interesting. A bunny rabbit. What have we got here? A seahorse. An apple. A myriad of different shapes. So I've got another interesting one here. That's an umbrella. And all you do, you take your camera. Now, ideally, if you want to get the best effect, you want to use a camera that's got a fast aperture, got a very wide aperture, like a 51.8 or something like that. However, you can do it with limited effects using, say, your kit lens with your 18 to 55. But remember, if you haven't got a nifty 50, a 51.8 in your photo backpack, why not? Because they're all less than £100, less than $100 for the Sony, the Nikon, and the Canon ones, and they're very, very useful. But all you do when you're going to be using it is, for example, here I've got a little step down ring. So I'll fix this one on. You wouldn't need this if you're using the a 51.8 or 51.4, because the filter holder, kind of that bit, and the filters, they come in 52, 58, and 72mm sizes. But you can obviously use step down and step up filters to make them fit particular lens threads. And all you do is you take the filter that you want to use. Say, for example, this nice boat. And then all I would do is, this one's got let's use this one. Just screw that in nice and carefully. Like there. Just make sure it's on so it doesn't fall off. And I don't know whether you can see that on the video. You might be able to see it if I take the lens off better. The lens has now got a cover on it with a little little bat on it. Now you may well think, well wait a minute, that's not letting enough light in to be able to take a photo? Well, it is. And what it means is that any out of focus pin lights in the background that would normally go to like a blob will then take on the shape of a bat. And what I'll do is at the end of the video I'll put a load of example images up so you can see what I'm talking about. And Horaczko really does two main types of filters. You get ones which are quite complicated, like this boat filter. And basically I don't know how he does it, but he has his filter, and then the black bits are kind of glued on to the glass of the filter, because it's quite an intricate design. But with the simpler designs, they're kind of cut out into these plastic discs, and then what you do with those is they're interchangeable. So there's a little locking ring, excuse me, that holds this in place that I've left out, and all you do is you press them in and then you put the locking ring in place, and that holds it, so you can change these out for whatever style of insert and style of bokeh that you want in the background. Now what's really important as well is that they spin, so as you're changing your camera from different orientations, for landscape to portrait, or indeed focusing your camera, if your lens is the type that spins around when it focuses, you can orientate it, if that's the word, to make sure that it's the right angle. But you may want it off kilter and stuff like that. So you can get these really fun effects. You don't have to take pictures of things in focus in the foreground to get it out in the background. All you need to do is point your camera at light sources and then defocus them, and you get these amazing shapes that appear. The other thing that's really cool is that you're not just limited to stills photography. You can do it for film photography, for video photography as well. You could do it for film photography, but you can do it for video photography as well. So you can have these amazing scenes whereby the lights in the background are in all these different wonderful shapes. And again, what I'll do is at the end of the video, I've had a brief attempt at creating some video with these custom bokeh filters. You have to bear with me, they're not works of art. There's lots of better people on the internet have done, but as a beginner I think they're quite fun. And what I really liked about this custom filter set is the fact that it does add a lot of fun to your photography. It's something that I hadn't really come across before. Normally the only filters that we talk about these days is the debate between ultraviolet filters, whether you should have them on the front of your lens to protect the camera, polarizing filters, which obviously do a good job, and basically all the other filters you don't really use anymore. But these, to have a couple of these in your camera bag is really amazing, and really good fun, and great fun to play around with. So if you want to get any of them, just go over to horaczko.com. That's horaczko.com, and then what you'll see is when you go there, there's he's got his links to a shop where you can buy them. There's like a set you can buy, or you can buy them individually, and you can also go to look at some example photos. There's a link to eBay as well, and a link to Facebook, and they really are very good indeed. So if you fancy having a bit of fun with your photography, you fancy customising the look of your photos, then you can't really go wrong by having a dabble with the custom bokeh filters from Horaczko. Well, my name's Rob from roblandphoto.com. I'm going to roll the examples now so you can have a look at a little bit of what you could do if you're a lot more creative. You do a lot better job than I have. Remember, you can email me scalespeeder@gmail.com, and thanks for watching.